about ready to get this thing started. It is NFC North Talk with your host, Russell Wayne. We talk about these Vikings. You can't brush that underneath. Come on, man. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Tina. Good morning, Jason. Good morning, Michael.
You like that? You like that?
There it is. Look at that. Look at that. Tight end one. Yup. There he is. That's my guy. That's my guy right there. That is Benet Sewell right there catching a touchdown pass to seal that game against those Minnesota Vikings. Welcome one, welcome all to NFC North Talk with your host, me. I'm Russell Wayne, and we definitely appreciate you guys being out there. Thank you for making us part of your morning football listens, because we are football 365 days a year. We ain't giving a crap about baseball. We ain't giving a crap about basketball. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because all of the rookies, the training camp, everything, we are going to be underway. I know that they're reporting all this, and I appreciate the people that corrected me. I thought that they were going to be doing this thing on the 23rd, and I misput it out there. Thank you for correcting me. We don't have the greatest news in the world. We just have fun on here talking about football. So good morning to Ken. Good morning, Keith. Good morning from Europe. What time is it in Europe, Keith? I would like to know. And who are you rooting for? Throw that in the comments. That's what we want to know. Who are you rooting for? I need a One Pride, or I need a Go Pack, or I need a Skull, or I need a Bear Down in the comments. Let me know who you representing in the comments right there as we get right to it. And what I really want to get to right here, I don't want to get to it first, but we are going to mention this, and we are going to talk about the fact that Jordan Addison, the Vikings first round draft pick wide receiver, was pulled over in a Lamborghini driving 140 miles an hour in a 55-mile-an-hour zone at 3 a.m. And all I'm hearing and through all of our networks is Viking fan doesn't even think this is that big of a deal. You know, young guys make mistakes and all that. And then here we got the Lions place Hendon Hooker on the NFI list, which means that he won't be able to practice, which this was expected, guys. This is not this is news, but it is, they opened up that roster spot for Hendon Hooker. For him going to the NFI list, they can roster some of the other people, like the picking up Denzel Mims in a trade. So that roster spot may be able to do that. They also released a kicker today, Badgley, who kicked for us last year. We got a kicker problem in Detroit. We got to figure out everything else looks good, but Brad Holmes has been a genius, especially picking up all the skill positions, drafting scary guys, but he hasn't done very well with the kickers yet. So we got to figure that out. And that's what we're going to talk about today. What are your comments in, or what do we have in here? We got Jeremy wanting the link already. That's cool. We'll get Jeremy in here in a minute. We got a Go Pack Go from Michael. Thank you for watching the show, even though it's not a good choice of teams, of course. Curtis says, "You the man." We got some One Pride in there. That is sweet. And wow, it's very nice to be on here finally. After a couple weeks, it seems like we've been kind of regurgitating the same thing over and over again, just talking a little bit of smack, but actually having news to talk about is a good thing. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to do what I do every day. Here it is. I'm going to throw the link into the comments right there, since we kind of have everything established right there, and we want to get some of our peeps in here. And if you run a podcast or you are representing your team, whether you're a Packer fan, Bear fan, Viking fan, or Lion fan, feel free to use this platform. Hop on here and, you know, promote your brand, promote your team, and let's talk some football. I want to know if you actually got some football smarts. You know, can we have an intelligent conversation? We can sling some mud at each other. It doesn't matter to me. It's all good. I do want you to go follow my page, though, because this is how we get out there. First of all, we want to thank the Detroit Lion News for allowing us to broadcast into their platform, definitely helping us put our name out there, which is the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. We had some D-bag from Shelby Township help us get our last page pulled, and we decided to start completely over, and here we are with the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. Please give us a like. Please give us a follow. Share this content. We appreciate you making us your listen, or at least one of your listens each and every day. So here we are right here. I got Main Event Mike in the background. What's going on, Main Event Mike?
Sorry I'm late. I was busy drag racing Jordan Addison.
Oh, okay. How'd that work? He won, didn't he?
Yeah, he was doing 140 and a 50.
Oh my gosh, look at this thing right here. I mean, I can't believe it. When I look at this, like, I've been in the NFC North, the huddle, and I see these guys these Viking fans just brushing this under like it ain't no big deal. Is this a big deal, Mike?
I don't think it's that big of a deal. What's really disturbing is that the guy just signed his rookie contract last week, and he's already driving a Lamborghini. And so all of this got me, you know, I didn't know that much about this guy. I just know he's the next great, you know, USC wide receiver coming out. So I went and looked at his highlight reel on YouTube. Absolutely nothing exciting there. They're against Rice, against Temple. I mean, these nobody schools. He's catching balls out of the backfield. No catches that really impress me. He's not very big. He's only 6 foot tall. This might be a bust in the making, bro. I mean, when you talk about how high they took him and you look at all the excellent defensive players that were on the board when they took Jordan Addison and the state of this Minnesota defense, I think this speeding thing is just a blip on the radar. It's just a kid being a kid. But hey, I think the Vikings might have really missed with this one. I didn't see anything in the highlights that impressed me. What about you, Jeremy? What do you think of Jordan Addison?
I think he's Henry Ruggs 2.0.
Wow.
Whoa.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
I mean, anybody that's going to buy a Lamborghini and be a weenie and do 140 and a 55 just to show off because he can, it's idiotic. That is reckless endangerment, which is a driving felony.
Wow. I mean, 140 mile an hour. I mean, that was the thing that hit me because I know a lot of friends of mine that like to go fast on their motorcycles and they like to go fast in their cars and stuff like that. And I'll tell you what, 110 miles an hour is fast. That is fast. That is like, wow, I'm going 110, 120 mile an hour, 140 mile an hour. Like you need to go to like a racetrack with your millions of dollars, rent the whole thing out, and then do your 140. What if he would have hit somebody?
Exactly my point. That's why I said exactly Henry Ruggs 2.0.
Yeah, I mean, that's he's lucky. I mean, he's lucky that he just got caught. Honestly, if you're a Viking fan, you should be happy that the police arrested him and that he got what he got without killing somebody because he may never play again. You know, I mean, like Henry Ruggs, if he does hurt somebody.
Jalen Carter on line 1.
It's my gosh, guys. And here we
that
are.
happened in college before he was ever a part of the NFL. You say what you want. Doing it when you're in college is way different than doing it once you have your big money.
Right. But he wasn't as lucky as Jordan Addison and somebody did die.
Right. No, I'm getting that. I'm not saying he was lucky for it because that's wrong.
Yeah, so that's a definitely a good comparison right there to Jalen Carter because that's what happens. And then there you are. He didn't even lose that much because he ended up getting picked, high by the Philadelphia. What was it? Pick number 10, Jalen Carter 12 or something like that.
Pick number 9. They traded with Chicago. Remember?
Right. So pick number, I mean, he ends up not losing that much money because of the talent and everything, but you can really see why Brad Holmes would stay away from some of these guys that have the question marks. You know, you want the guys that are going to contribute, not going to give you problems. And then, Jamison Williams online too. So, so, I mean, is this even compared to the Jamison Williams thing? Because that's what I've been, throwing here on this NFC North, the huddle. They seem to say, oh, yeah, well, now you're brushing the Jamison Williams thing underneath the rug. It's like, no, we're not really brushing it underneath the rug, but this is way worse.
Here's the comparison. One guy bet in a hotel room on the road on his college football team, right?
I think it was basketball, but yeah.
No, it was college football because it was during the season. Had to be college football. So either way, it was college, right? He's betting on college, which was an obscure rule that they didn't explain properly because 80% of the NFL veterans and rookies don't know it. Yet this guy did something that everybody knows is bad. You don't drive 140 on a regular road. 55 miles an hour is not an expressway. 55 miles an hour is not, a major, it's not the Autobahn where it's legal. You're talking about a 2, maybe a 4-lane road doing 140 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone. What if a kid walked out from a house on the side of that road?
Yeah, there you go. That's it. Can you compare it to Jamison Williams, Mike, somehow?
No, but I think that I think that there's some validity to that. Maybe because it's a Lions player, we're a little quicker to poo-poo it, whereas we're going to harp on it a little more because it's a Vikings player. Maybe there's something to that. But I'm not really into this hypothetical. What if a kid had come out and what if and what if and what if? The fact is, what really concerns me is there going to be a suspension coming down, Jeremy? Would the league rule some sort of suspension for this? I mean, this is conduct policy all the way.
Right. This is conduct unbecoming the shield, which on an average, when you're talking about PEDs and somebody does this and somebody does that, as long as you're not in a domestic violence or something, you'll probably see 3 to 4 games.
Really? You think 3 to 4 games for a speeding ticket?
It's more than a speeding ticket. If you're able to be arrested, that means it's reckless endangerment of human lives is what it's considered if you're arrested.
And that definitely would fall under the purview of the league's conduct policy. So what did you say, 3 to 4 games we could be seeing without Jordan Addison?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hope that it was going to be more than that. I mean, and not just because I'm a Lion fan. If NFL wants
to send a message,
the NFL, if they want to send the message, they're sending a message that they care more about gambling than they do people's lives. And 140 mile an hour is not a speeding ticket, Michael. 140 mile an hour is attempted murder on people. Have you ever Mike? Have you ever went 140 miles an hour in your life?
I've done 120, but never 140.
Jeremy, have you ever went 140 miles an hour in your lifetime?
Once.
Of course you have. All right.
Top fuel dragster roller coaster Cedar Point. It does 140.
So okay, so that is a safe environment where they use engineers to engineer your safety doing that 140, but not in a car. So if we're gonna brush this under the rug as a speeding ticket, maybe it's not as high as attempted murder, but if he did hit somebody, it would be a manslaughter murder. So I mean, attempted murder. Let's say I've done 133, says Garrett. I mean, that's crazy.
Good for you.
Can you control your car? Like this is okay. There you go. Go ahead, Jeremy.
You can control it at that speed. The problem is you have tunnel vision. You cannot see what's beside you. It looks like you're driving down a tunnel the whole time. Everything's a blur from the side.
I feel like every time I say something, I got like a Jeremy extension that's like, yep, and then I get like an add-on word right there. Calvin says that what JMO do would affect other people?
Not in the least.
So if we're comparing it to the two, like JMO's going to get 6-game suspension because the NFL cares more about gambling and their squeaky clean image than they do safety of other people. So if this kid only gets 3 games for endangering people's lives doing 140 mile an hour, I guess what Mike says a speeding ticket, then I mean I'm going to have a problem with their.
I'm sorry, Russ. I love you to death, my brother, but we're just not going to agree on this. What Jameson Williams did is puts the integrity of the game at risk. And if you lose the integrity of the game, it's over. People will not. I mean, if they believe for 1 minute that the game is fixed, and NFL is trying to nip it in the bud before it gets that, because they do have these gambling partners, these casinos who are giving them millions and millions of dollars to sponsor the NFL. So the NFL has to be hardlined on this, no exceptions. And maybe Jameson Williams was an exception because he was the first one when the news broke. That was the headline, right? So maybe they used Jameson Williams as an example, but I think that what Jameson Williams in the eyes of the league is just as important as what Jordan Addison did. And I think that the suspension should be similar.
Mike, as an advocate for the NFL, dude, you did a fantastic job right there. And thank you for proving my point in such an eloquent way. Now, as we move on right here, let's get into the real football talk right here and get back into. So the Lions place Hooker on the NFI list, and that just means that he won't be able to practice with the team. So give me some thoughts on that, Michael.
Oh, just I mean, he's not eating up a roster spot. I mean, he's still rehabbing. His clear date is September 1st by his own doctor and his own admission. So, I mean, we're sitting here at near the end of July. I think this is a non-story.
Okay. I mean, well, I mean, it's a story to the point where he does go onto the list, and it does silence the people that are like, you know, some of the Canadians that I know think that he's going to, you know, compete for the week 1 starting job. And this definitely like takes all of those homer takes and throws it right out the window. Now we're in reality. He starts on the NFL list. It's kind of like Jameson Williams last year. Oh, yeah, he could be ready by week 1. Oh, you know, those ACLs, they can get real, you know, you can heal from them really, really fast. And then it's like, okay, he starts on 6-week pup. Okay, now that is out the window. We ain't talking about that nonsense anymore. I mean, he had an ACL tear. We have Jared Goff. There's absolutely no reason to even get this guy out there practicing. So there you go.
I mean, look at the presser Dan Campbell did right after we drafted him. This is a red shirt year for Hendon Hooker. We want him to be completely healthy before he touches the field in a game situation.
Exactly.
That says everything you need to know.
Yep.
He
Yep,
tore
let me
his ACL in November. We're only sitting at July. It's expected he'd be on the NFI list at this time.
Hey, Jaron.
You know, I'm trying to get in here and look at some of these, and we did just change we can go right back to the car thing. Says Garrett says that he didn't hit anything. He also says it's a car and it's made to go fast. And Garrett also says professional drivers don't have tunnel vision.
He's not a professional driver.
Jason says that it's made to go fast, but it doesn't mean should be driven fast. Mm-hmm. So we got people on both sides of this. Anytime you drive, you are endangering people. Okay. Oh my God. Hey, Garrett, you have to be a Viking fan, like in order to just brush that underneath like that. No, he wasn't driving fast. He was driving ludicrous speed. Ludicrous speed. Have you ever seen, what's that movie?
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs.
They've gone flannel. He went flannel.
He went. This isn't fast. This is redonkulous fast.
Good one, Jared.
This is redonkulous fast. I mean, you are when you drive 35 miles an hour, you're endangering people. Oh my God. Okay.
Young guys got it right. Take it to the track. Like we said.
Take it to the track. What integrity if he doesn't gamble on the NFL? Please explain this to me.
I will explain that to you. Gambling is a slippery slope. If I'm a recovered gambling addict. I can tell you right now that once it starts with a college basketball game, it starts to snowball, especially if you get in the hole and you keep trying to get yourself out. It's absolutely, I mean, his question is what integrity if he doesn't gamble on the NFL? It's gambling in general affects the integrity of the league. We can't even have a hint. I mean, look what happened to the NBA when the referees got caught, fixing games. It took 10 years for the audience to come back. They have since left again, but that was due to the retirement of all the superstars. But I think, come on, Calvin, you've got to admit that if you knew that players were allowed to be out there betting on sports, it could encroach on the integrity of the game. Can't deny it.
And that's fair.
But they are. That's the bad part about it. Because if they're at home and do the same damn thing, it doesn't have a problem with. They don't have a problem with it. You see, it's a kind of a hypocrisy.
It is.
That's a good point. And I've been of the stance that they should ban all gambling, no matter where you are, if you're an NFL player.
I'm just saying you can't have it one way and then expect players to act another. I understand gambling on the NFL, 100%. That's the slippery slope, 100%, because that 100% affects the integrity of the game. Correct?
Yes, but you're going to have to.
But what I'm saying is, if it's okay to be at home and bet on a college team, It shouldn't be no different if you're in your hotel room for the night on the road. That's what I'm getting at. I'm talking about the hotel room. I'm not talking about the practice facility, the parking lot. I'm not talking about in the dome. I'm not talking about while you're in the locker room. I'm talking about your hotel room is considered your home on the road, right? That's where you go to bed. That's my point.
And actually, this is really funny because Calvin and everything that we're talking about here, actually, the point of this is you're driving too fast. And to show you how Lion Fan operates right here, we immediately want to compare and say driving fast is worse than gambling. And all of a sudden, we want to switch this thing around. And then Calvin says, okay, now we're talking about the gambling versus driving fast. And the thing is they're both bad. And honestly, in more endangerment, the driving 140 mile an hour should be a worse crime than somebody betting on a football game that isn't an NFL game in his hotel room.
You notice that there's no
it should be that way.
No teams in Virginia, right? You know why? Because if you drive 1 mile an hour faster than 90 miles an hour on any road, it's a felony.
And that's a big thing right there. Like, that's where it does move from that speeding thing that you were talking about, Mike, where it's just a speeding ticket. Where is the line where it does go to endangerment and it isn't just well, here's your $175 fine for going over the speed limit? Where does it go? Oh, I'm putting you in jail. If it's a felony, he should get suspended for 8 games. That's a felony.
He was arrested, is what it said. It didn't say he was cited. It said he was arrested on that. So he was arrested. That means he went to jail that night at 3 a.m. and had to be bailed out.
Okay, that's fine, but we'll see what happens when it comes to what he's convicted for, because they could just throw the whole thing out because of his stature or whatever. But nobody like me or you could get away with going 140 mile an hour. No regular people that live regular lives could get away with that. But we can definitely we could go into a hotel room and make a bet without getting arrested.
I just noticed the speedometer on my Silverado says 140.
Yeah.
And he wanted to test it out. See, Mike's already thinking about the risk right there. The integrity of the game is NFL, not a college game. So that's going to the point of.
I'd have to disagree with Lisa on that one because integrity of the game, not the pro game, not the college game, the game. I think we need to keep gambling out of sports, and I agree with the Jameson Williams suspension. And I think it's telling that they didn't appeal. They said they're not even going to think about appealing. They're just going to take it, move forward.
Good for them too. Good for them. The comment is that he wasn't on a highway. Is important. 3 a.m, not many people are out, but on a local road, you can have Ben come anytime. He's lucky that it didn't happen. I mean, at 3 a.m. So you're looking at 3 a.m. being a good thing because nobody is out there. No, that is not a good thing. When your first round draft pick that you invested millions in high draft capital is out. It's like those guys that are in the strip clubs at 4 o'clock in the morning going, "Oh, I didn't do it. I wasn't the one that fired the gun." What the hell are you doing in the strip club at 4 o'clock in the morning? Stop it, Keith.
Thanks for the comment, Keith, and enlighten. I didn't know it was 3 o'clock in the morning. When you add darkness into going 140 in a 55 mile an hour zone, I think that even makes it worse.
Yeah.
But he looked at it like a good thing.
Say hello to my little friend.
Yeah. Addison is just hurrying to training camp. I respect the dedication. I love yes. I love that one.
Now that's the best defensive statement yet.
You get a 5 on. I got to give you a 5 bag on that one again. You ready?
You like that.
You get 5 on that one, Baze Jaron. That is good.
So if right. And we're looking at a 3 to 4 game suspension. If Justin Jefferson wasn't getting double or triple team before, he certainly will be in those first 3 or 4 games.
Well, they still got Hawkinson and a blocking tight end, so don't.
KJ Osborne and Alexander Madison. Woo-hoo, look out.
Look
That offense
out.
is explosive.
That sounds good. Jiren says, yeah, it was very dumb of him, and he's lucky that he didn't get arrested. Well, according to Jeremy, he did get arrested.
According to what let me pull it up again.
Yeah, please check that. We don't care that we're not right. We just love talking football. So feel free to correct us out there, because we're not gonna like break any real-time news. And if we do, you're lucky on this network, because that's not what we do. We just like to make fun of all the dumb shit that happens. And then when it comes to our team and like, oh, wow, Jameson got suspended.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
So, but it's okay when it happens to our team and we can brush it underneath the rug. Oh, it's just gambling. Oh, no, it's just 140. Like
a Clark Gable drop? You are the maestro, my man. A Gone with the Wind drop? Unbelievable.
Yes, you like that.
You like that?
That gets a triple. That one gets
Thank
a
you,
triple.
Kirk Cousins.
Sure thing. He was cited for speeding and reckless driving. Reckless driving is the key. Reckless driving is not. Reckless driving is the key, though. Reckless driving is not your normal ticket. Reckless driving is for excessive speed. It's for putting other people's lives in danger. It is considered a grade 1 misdemeanor. In some states, it's a felony.
Yeah, well, just so we know, it does not say that he was arrested, right? He was cited. Okay, so we are sorry for putting out.
Somebody said he was arrested, so I said that's why I went with it.
Somebody said he was arrested, but we are sorry that we put out wrong information. We apologize for that. But
put that on the calendar.
Put it on the calendar. I think Jeremy's been wrong twice in his life.
I made a few mistakes.
He's twice in his life, and we have witnessed one of them, and it's right here. All right, we have 4. We got a Bear fan. Yes, Woody is in the house.
What is your take on Jordan Addison driving 140 in a 55?
Thank you, Jeremy.
Weren't we just talking about what did that Vikings fan that came on the other day says? Oh, we have Addison to take, JJ if he gets covered. Yeah, Addison will. I had to, I know it's like when they get signed in the NFL or pro sports and stuff like that, they think they can break the freaking law and get away with it. Oh, I'm an athlete, I can get away with it. No, you won't. They look at you more. The police. I used to be a policeman. We look at the athletes more that want to break the law and stuff like that. So, well, what are you going to do?
So Tina says that
that's great. You used to be a policeman. Did you ever have to cite anyone for driving 140 miles an hour?
No, maybe on a Kawasaki freaking bike or something like that. But what kind of car did he have? Did he have like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari?
Exactly. It's a Lamborghini. And I say that because he's a weenie for driving it that fast.
Wow.
Well, don't take it out on him.
What's that?
Do you live in Illinois?
No, I live in Pennsylvania.
So in Pennsylvania, if you're doing 140, do you know what kind of infraction that is?
Absolutely. That's a loss of a license for a year. If you're, they could suspend your license if you're going 25 miles per hour over the speed limit.
Wow.
So that's a year of suspension there. Here in Pennsylvania, if you're going 25, they can suspend your license for a year. So imagine doing almost triple. He's going to be calling Uber to the training camp. So.
Oh, thank you, Woody. You've just given me so much material.
Yeah, it's just it's sad, but you deserve it. I mean, even if it was a bear that did that, I call you a freaking idiot for doing that shit. You know what I mean? It's just dumb, but he better pipe up, go to those classes, go to the court trials when he has them and stuff like that, and hopefully he gets excused for those days. So
Woody, what would be like for this 140? What could be his worst that he could get? I mean, could he see jail time in this, or is that just kind of
it depends on the laws and stuff like that. If you had any more infractions and stuff like that, because for example, in Pennsylvania, if you get 2 DUIs within 10 years, you go to jail for 90 days. So it's different with states, but if it's in Pennsylvania, he could be doing some jail time for doing that. Especially if you're doing a like 45 in a school zone, they'll suspend your license. They won't even ask you twice about that.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to like pump my own brakes on here on how serious that I mean it is serious, but I'm gonna kind of lean more towards main event Mike's side here a little bit after hearing you and your in your experience as like knowing about the police officers and stuff like that. So yeah, being cited and losing your license, that I don't think that I'm gonna die on a hill for all of that, like giving him a hard time.
I'm a little different because I lost my son who went head on into a tree he didn't see at 55 miles an hour because of a curve in the road at night. So I'm in a little different mood right now. So I think this is absolutely horrid and atrocious.
Right.
No car is set up to keep your body or anyone else around you safe at 140 miles an hour.
Yeah, there's no reason. There's no reason ever to be going that fast.
Not in the United States.
I mean, Jay, instead of being an NFL athlete, go to NASCAR. You can do it and it's legal.
Or move to Germany and drive on the Autobahn where there's no speed limit.
Yeah. But I didn't know about that, Jeremy. I'm sorry to hear that for your son.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna run over. I'm just gonna pop out for a second. I'm gonna go post on my Facebook. Jordan Addison's taking an Uber to training camp.
Hey, Mike, I already posted it in my on my chats too. So
did you really? Oh crap! All right.
No, just under Mike the Bear fan, I did it under House Hall and stuff.
No, well, nobody looks at that anyway, Woody.
Jesus Christ! There we go.
Oh, wait, we got A-Dubs in the back room. I didn't see that we had a second row right there. Welcome to the show, A-Dub. He's got a little bit of delay.
So all Packers fans have delays. I don't know why.
Hey, A-Dub.
That is good. Well, so what do you think about this 140 mile an hour nonsense here?
I already said in the comment he better off taking on a Fast and Furious role in the movie if he's going to do that.
Well, I think they already made the last Fast and Furious. I think it was Fast 10. So I don't know if Vin Diesel or The Rock are going to be making another one.
Jordan Addison can take up the new role.
Now I think they have plans to where they might have another one come out. So
yeah, they might have one in Minnesota now.
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw your comment there, A-Dub. That was pretty good.
Wow.
We have
so now all the meme gods need to get to work.
Yeah, they're on it. They're happy about this.
Did you see the one that Melvin put out with Jordan Addison's face on Speed Racer?
No.
Are we going there now?
I love it. Right.
Let me see if I can't find that one.
Got to change his number to 5. That was Speed Racer's number.
I'm gonna see if I can't find that. I want to find that because that was a good one. I actually posted it up in the featured section.
Messenger.
Oh my God. But on the serious note, like if you put people's lives in danger on the road by doing that shit, you deserve what you get. Plain and simple. Deserve what you get.
The whole Speed Racer crew, we could do a meme, and that little monkey that was with Speed Racer will put Kirk Cousins' head on it.
Play action fast.
So there it is.
Call it.
There it is. Thank you to Melvin G for posting that.
I just commented on that before too.
Thank you. Hey, thank you, Jesus, for posting that.
Jesus, you did it.
We have our own Detroit Jesus, and every once in a while he blesses us with fantastic content right there. So thank you, Detroit Jesus. We do have somebody else waiting in the lobby. It might be a first-time guest right here. Are you?
Will Vogel.
What's up? Is this Vogel? Welcome to the show. What's your name?
Will Vogel. I'm really good friends with Jeremy. Jeremy is my mentor on many things.
Said no
Oh
one.
no! Hey! Don't kiss ass on here, please. No need. No need.
I've been helping him with
So
podcasting and stuff.
So you are a Lions fan if you're Jeremy's friend.
I'm a Panthers fan, but Jeremy turned me into a Lions fan as well.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
But
you turned
Russell, I had the funny comment, and Jeremy saw it. I said, you know how the Packers traditionally bike to training camp as like a tradition to bike with the public? Trade him to the Packers. Trade Addison to the Packers and be like, hey, try to go 140 miles per hour on this side.
You like that?
You know, I'll give that one a 3.
You like that?
Okay, there we go.
You know what?
Oh, we definitely got to get a Vikings fan on here to see his intake on this. Any Viking
They're
fan.
defending it. They're defending it with words on.
Oh, I bet they are. But yeah, thank you for having me
don't
on
count,
the show.
though.
I can be on for 10 minutes, and then I've got to travel today.
Cool.
Did you talk to your mentor about that? You're not allowed to get off the show.
I know, right?
Yeah, once you start, you can't stop.
I agree. What Addison did is like, I don't know how to compare it. I feel like it's like a lesser extent of what Ruggs did. You need to suspend the guy like at least 7 games, in my opinion.
At least 7 games? Yeah, I think it should be like comparable, because I think we're setting a bad example here, because I believe what Mike says about where you do have to draw this giant line in the sand and say, look, you can't cross this line. And I understand that. But when you're comparing these gambling suspensions with like guys who knock their girlfriend's head off of their shoulders, or guys that are driving 140 mile an hour and breaking the law, I mean, it isn't illegal to gamble. It's against the NFL's policy to gamble. So it's not like they're going to go and give him a misdemeanor or have him, go to probation and go to gambling classes.
Gosh, that's such a great.
So on Jeremy's show, we brought up gambling one time, and I feel like how they do a symposium every year, and like, oh, what was it, Jeremy? 80% of guys didn't know that the whole gambling thing. I feel like you need to have a thing with like guys who've been recklessly driving, put them through a driver's safety course, and at the end of the course, just test them on their driving and say, hey, we're going to put you through driver's ed again.
Now, here's this is an honest question. Now, would they train you how to drive at 140 miles an hour?
No.
Okay, I'm trying.
If you want to drive 140 miles per hour, NASCAR and Formula One has jobs calling your name.
I can't drive 140.
Wow. Yeah, Russell, you sound Russell, you sound just like Sammy Hagar, just to a T, baby.
45.
So I have a question for Will. Does Jeremy refer to you as grasshopper or Padawan? Or like that?
No, he should, but he doesn't.
Or paint the fence.
No, you know what would be funny? If someone got a Stephon Diggs.
Does he ask you to wax on, wax off the car? That's all I'm asking.
I'm sure it's dirty after 140.
So I think someone needs to get a Stephon Diggs Vikings jersey, write Addison on it, and add a 0 to it because he wore 14.
I think it's a great point, though, Russ. Jordan Addison broke the law. Jamison Williams did not. Aside from the NFL policy issue, one broke the law and one did not, and one got a 6-game suspension. So if breaking the law is also against the NFL policy, that suspension should be bigger or at least the same as Jameson Williams. Now that we think about it and kick the idea around, what do you guys think of that?
Yeah, like I said, like I said, being a former policeman, he did break the law. If you, anything that your license gets suspended or anything like that, you got to go to court trials, classes, and stuff like that. Like I said, if I was a policeman and I got caught speeding, I'd be fired because obviously putting the city I was working in danger, and plus I won't be having my license, and mainly I have to drive. So I mean, does he get an Uber to training camp and practices? But if I was the coach, I would be, or general manager, I'd be suspending him and laying the law down.
I'd
lot
be
of teams
suspending him and be like, "Hey, you're going to be in a carpool with the backups."
Yeah, practice squad.
You got to ride with
Practice
KJ
squad.
Osborne.
Yeah.
No.
Bus. I can see him on the team bus from the back. Does it say go any faster?
Yeah.
And walk faster than this. Come on.
No,
Yeah, but a suspension
Mike,
suspension is due.
Yeah,
Mike,
I agree.
suspend him to the school bus during the year with all the kids. Oh, come
Yeah.
on, another stop.
All right,
He had a 4.40 and an 8.1 quarter mile.
Well, speed kills, like they say, literally.
They love going fast. Mike says, changing subjects. The Lions will cut to a 53-man roster. Who do you think the practice squad makeup of the Lions be, since so much potential has been given to the team?
I think Jeremy.
You know who I love? Mo. Go ahead.
All right, whoever wants to go can go.
I waited because I heard somebody start speaking.
So, go ahead, Jeremy. Yeah, I think he was just saying, go ahead, Jeremy.
We have 20 offensive linemen on this roster right now, so I have a feeling at least 6 of those practice squad spots will be that, just to have that added depth, because we do know injuries happen on the O-line. We also have about 11 defensive ends. You can only keep about, 6?
At the most.
Yeah, so there's 5 more. That's 11 of the 13 spots right there. The other 2, probably a quarterback and a wide receiver.
I like that. That's a good call. That's
Jeremy. Practice squad, you get 18, but you can protect 6. Is that right?
4.
You can protect 4 out of 18.
Yeah, is it 18 now? Because I thought it was still 13 total. Because last year we only had 13 on the practice squad each week. 4 of them protected.
Okay,
that's 9 unprotected.
I'm asking you to confirm that.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it is an extension of the roster, and we used that a lot last year as far as the Lions, because we did have a lot of injuries going down the stretch, and you wouldn't know it because of all the wins, but we went through a lot of injuries last year down the stretch where you had, like, leading wide receivers like greats that you know of in the Bears camp, like Tom Kennedy. Oh, I'm sure that rings a bell. And Josh Reynolds and these guys that you don't know outside of the organization, but it's because the practice squad depth was deep, and it is important that you hide some depth onto that.
You know who I would love to see on the practice squad is Mohamed Ibrahim. I thought he was a great UDFA.
I think he makes the team.
I think he makes the team, and Netflix ends up on the practice squad.
I can see it. Well, guys, I've got to travel. Jeremy, guys,
good to see you. Thanks for hopping in.
Yeah, thanks for popping on.
See you.
Yes, anytime. We're here every day, man. During the week, let's talk some football, brother.
Hey, man, I'm free Monday. I'll be there.
Well, I'll be here too. All right. Have a good one,
Jeremy.
Right.
I didn't know you had a protege.
He has been a part of Sideline Sports with doing a show called Basket Bros, talking about old school basketball versus the new basketball. And he's been on the South Florida Tribune, and he got booted because he couldn't be mature enough on there. So I kind of took him under my wing and had him as a guest on my Wednesdays NFL shows. And from listening to me, he started piping in on the Friday shows.
Very cool.
All right. Well, now we have these Bear fans in here, or Bear fan in here. So we got to think of something that we can do here. Let me see. I got a little screen that I'm going to share right here. Where are we at? Is it this one? Yeah. All right. This was thrown up by Tom Novans from the Novans Corporation right here with never forget noodle arm Jared Goff doubled Justin Fields in passing yards last year. So let's get some comments on this right here.
Justin Fields also had more rushing yards than Jamal Williams.
Ooh,
but I would hate to see. Well, Justin Fields got most of those yards. It's not because of design runs. He was running his ass off from those defensive linemen and linebackers. So that's the main thing I said this year is that I think Justin Fields should have more design runs for him. But, RPO is no more. So it's going to be tough. I think because Lamar Jackson, his first year, he was all run. But his second year, he started passing the ball more, and he was successful. So I'm hoping with all the weapons and our offensive line is beefing up, I'm thinking Justin Fields, he's going to have a decent passing year this year. So that's just my intake on that.
Right on. So let's go to a Lion fan right here. How about you, Jeremy? What do you think about this post by Tom Novan?
I wanted to make that bigger real quick so I could actually read it because I don't have my reading glasses today. Can I see the picture again?
Yeah, hold on a minute. Boom. There you go. I can try to make it bigger. Let me see if I can.
Yep. I don't expect that Justin Fields will throw for that much anyways because it is more of a running offense, period. He has more weapons. I expect him to do better if he learns how to read instead of running, because you guys can say he was running for his life, but the pocket was held for 2.7 seconds, which was ninth best in the NFL last year.
Thank you.
So that meant he was a 1 read or a 2 read and run quarterback.
Right. Well, okay. Jeremy, with Mooney's injury and stuff like that, he liked to favor Mooney, which he can't do that. We'll see this year. But like I said a couple weeks ago, is that he doesn't like throwing the tight ends. He has to get Cole Kmet and new addition Tanyan involved this year. That like I said, that's going to be my dark horse this year is the tight ends, and he has to get the ball to those guys.
But wasn't Kmet hit the leading receiver?
Cole Kmet was number one target last year, and I don't care if you add an offensive line or DJ Moore, the guy couldn't hit water from a boat. Okay? That's why Jared Goff doubled his total, as Tom pointed out in the post. He didn't have a lot of offensive line, but you know what? We've seen great quarterbacks overcome those things before and at least salvage a winning season. I think the kid's in trouble. I wish him the best. I'm scared of the kid, and everybody. I've been very vocal about the potential. What this kid could be is very scary for the NFC North, because if he can get his accuracy down, I mean, the kid's an incredible athlete. We saw what he did at Columbus University. The guy can throw the ball. He's just
froze on us.
They do that to me all the time.
I know. Like I said, I know Cole Kmet was their leading receiver, but
this guy's
it was just lack of weapons. I mean, like I said a couple weeks ago too on the show, is that when we get to the 20, the tight ends got to be the key. Like I said, when we had Jimmy Graham, when we had Trey Burton, Zach Miller, that's all. Our offense wasn't within the 20-yard line getting in the end zone is throwing to the tight ends. Unless you had, again, Alshon Jeffrey or Brandon Marshall, we would hit them in the end zone. Those tight ends are key within the 20-yard line. That's what I'm talking about.
Right on. I want to get A-Dub's thought on this. Everybody pay attention for the delay right here. But what is your thoughts on Justin Fields versus this Tom Novan's comment on this post right here?
When I look at that, it only reminds me about how much more work that Justin Fields has to do. Like when I watch the kid play, I'm not going to say he's not a good thrower, but when I've seen big plays from him, it's usually going to be more on the outside. And I wonder, what is the percentage for Justin Fields targeting the middle as opposed to outside on the numbers when it comes to him throwing the football? And it always seems like he'll normally go for the, and when it comes to him throwing, it's usually going to be the bomb it pass. Like we see more from him in terms of arm strength, more so than we see arm accuracy on the field.
I like that. That's a great take right there. And I'm going to just take the elephant out in the room. Everybody kind of spoke on this, and I want to come to the other side of this argument, which is the Jared Goff side, and it kind of lends to something that I've been saying a lot this offseason, which is that the people love a running quarterback. It's more exciting to see a running quarterback, and Justin Fields has all of this excitement going to this year because he's exciting. He gets outside of the pocket and then he likes to run. And a lot of people like that type of thing. But what is undersold in this league is what Jared Goff does, where he just sits back in the pocket and quietly has a very, very good throwing year, and that he still gets crapped on because whatever, he's got playmakers or whatever reason you think that is not his ability of why he's getting all of these yards. So that's what I see with these two, because we want to talk about how bad Justin Fields is going to be rather than how good Jared Goff was all last season.
That's a great point.
But we can move on. We have a couple people asking us to move on right here. Tina says, can we go in and can we talk about Mims? But I don't know if we can go in and talk about Mims because we have Bear Down Mike, who is also in the back. So we have 2 Bear fans, 1 Packer fan, and 2 Lions fans. So Bear Down Mike, I will let you bring a topic to the conversation if you want to.
Well, when Woody was talking about Justin Fields, did you guys realize 9 players in the NFL, 9 quarterbacks threw for over 4,000 yards? Did you see how many throws they made? Up in the 500s. Justin Fields only threw the ball 319 times. Right. So you got to think that this was a running offense last season. With the additions of the wide receivers, that's going to go up 200 and plus.
Yeah.
It
was a running offense even on passing plays.
Yeah.
But that's a good point.
There's plays where he looked like he wanted to throw, but he had to tuck it and run because the guy wasn't paying attention.
Oh, A-Dub's got something.
Yeah, and Russell, if I was going to bring up something else you could speak about, you mentioned the case about dual threat quarterbacks, and I'm thinking that's one of the factors that could speak volumes about why running backs are not getting paid as much anymore. One of the reasons is running backs are getting little to no pay nowadays.
It definitely could contribute to it. Really what we have is with the salary cap, with the era that we're in, it does create parity, but it does make it so you have to draft a lot better. And if you're going to pay these quarterbacks, you're not going to be able to pay the running backs. And if you're paying a running back, well, then you probably aren't going to be paying your quarter. You have to decide which type of players or what time you want to be hitting on those draft picks, right? You need these guys on rookie deals in order to win in the NFL anymore. You can't go into free agency. You can't pay your quarterback $60 million unless your name's Patrick Mahomes, who he is a unicorn. Nobody is like him right now. He's already transcended, his abilities a couple of times.
Here we go. Let's see what his passer rating was over the middle by Next Gen Stats. At 5 yards or less, Justin Fields was 54.8.
Wow.
At 10 to 15 yards, it was 96.7. So that's just under the safeties. That's actually pretty good. Between the safeties, 0.0 passer rating.
Wow.
So he didn't, but that means he didn't throw, they didn't scheme, or he never threw the ball there.
No, it says 38 attempts over the middle.
0.
It tells me how many attempts.
0 for 38.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, now down the hash marks. Over 15 yards. That's any ball through the air. It's talking about through the air, not where they caught it. 85.9, At 10 to 15, it was 125.8, which is very good. At 5 yards or less, 77.5. On screen passes behind the line, it was only a 60.4 passer rating.
Wow.
On the right side. Now let's go to the left side. Over 15 yards, 109.7. 10 to 15, 116.1. 5 to 0 yards was 85.9, and behind the line of scrimmage, screens to the left was a 95.4. So he throws very good to the blind side for most quarterbacks, but is he left-handed?
No.
Okay. So he can throw behind him better than he can throw in front of him.
Holy cow. That's an interesting stat, Jeremy. Thanks for that. Russ, I'm up against it. Can I sign off?
Yes. Let me go get my little promo here for you, and then you can go ahead and do that.
No, I got to ask Mike something. You going to pick up Addison? Are you the Uber driver?
No. That's a good one.
That's fantastic.
A guy named Woody should never throw insults to anyone.
No.
Hey, it's the NFC North Open.
And then he goes out.
Oh,
stupid.
Well, let's see if you can cut in here. I'm going to give him another crack at it.
The producer, Russell Wayne. God bless you all.
God bless you.
Hey, take it easy, Mike. Have a great day. And hey, he is the illustrious host of our NFC North Open Mic. And since all that cut out, I might as well just go ahead and say it. Every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. And if you did hear Mike say it, then you just get to hear it twice. Leave your feelings at home. We want to hurt your feelings. We want to rip on your favorite team. 75% of your takes are wrong just because you're on this show, and that's just the way that it is. And we appreciate it. And we appreciate each and every one of you coming out and watching talking heads talk about football in July. How do you like that? That gives like a 5.
You like that?
Before we sign off here, because I know it's coming soon, I wanted to mention the fact that Jahmyr Gibbs signed his contract on the eve of training camp with a 4-year, $17.85 fully guaranteed contract with a $9.4 million signing bonus.
That's becoming more popular, isn't it? Like these fully guaranteed rookie deals. I mean,
but not for running backs, which leans towards what Brad Holmes said to Peter Schrager. He's not considered a running back here. He's considered an offensive weapon. He's going to be used more at wide receiver than at running back.
You guys think he's going to be used as a gadget player?
No, he's just going to be a target machine. I think that Deebo Samuel, these new hybrid wide receivers that are out there that people are using like that, you're even like Amon-Ra St. Brown, they've been using like gadget player. They've been giving him handoffs. I think that you're going to see Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery out there a lot, both of them. You'll see,
especially
Gibbs
the first 6 weeks while Williams is suspended.
I really think that we're going to keep extra running backs because I think that he will identify as a running back. I think that he'll have the running back tag. But as far as your fantasy football teams, definitely Jahmyr Gibbs is the best rookie running back for you to take dynasty-wise, especially if you're in a PPR league. I'll give that little bit of tidbit for you. If you get a point per receptions, this kid's going to get 8 to 10 receptions a game, even if they are just dump offs. But they plan on throwing it to him often. And he's a playmaker. That's what he is. So let's get into some of these comments right here. And I'm not ready to sign off yet. I
didn't know. I just wanted to get that out there that was done.
Well, Mike's kind of like the middle, like in the middle of the broadcast. I used to just go till 12. But it ends up being 12:30. But here we go. We have a Packer fan in here, A-Dub. Is there anything Packer related? Because I don't know if you guys have had anything new that's really happened. You want to touch on anything you want these clowns to be able to answer to?
Well, the only thing that would be new and more recent has to be a USFL QB that we signed.
Yep.
Okay.
Birmingham.
Alex McGough.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what do you think of him over maybe Sean Clifford? I mean, I like Sean Clifford. I thought that was a good, late round developmental quarterback.
Well, when it comes to this USFL QB, I heard about what he's been able to do down there, a former MVP in his own right. But for me, I look at this as a guy who's just coming in as far as bringing competition to the QB position, as far as somebody who could fight for a roster spot, as far as that second stringer behind Jordan Love. I thought at best he'd be just another camp body who just adds competition to the QB spot as far as somebody who could back up Jordan Love.
Yeah, I like that take. And now since they have that new rule that you're allowed to actually have 3 quarterbacks on the active roster, and that's cool. That's cool.
Sean Clifford, he played for what, Penn State?
Yeah.
Doesn't count. Nope.
I mean, well, if you actually watched him play against some of those defenses last year, Sean Clifford was pretty good under pressure, being able to like throw the ball right as he was getting hit and stuff. I was always impressed with him, and Penn State isn't known for really having great quarterbacks, but he stood out as one of the better Penn State quarterbacks to me. But I mean,
I'll compare him to Kerry Collins. That's fine.
Okay, yeah, Kerry. I mean, underrated dude right there. That dude played into his 40s and played on really, really good teams. And these good game manager guys. I put Goff in that category. I put Kirk Cousins in that category. These guys that just are just your pros. You're not like I said. You don't want to see any of these guys out of the pocket. It's like, nope. Don't want to see any of that. I just want to see you in the pocket. I want to see you protected, and I want to see you distributing the ball. Oh, amen. There we go. Sorry that there's not a ton of news as far as so we'll probably are going to go back into this Denzel Mims things, because this is what Tina wants to talk about. And I think this is a good signing for the Detroit Lions. I mean, you can't really call it a bad signing because they didn't really do or a good bad trade, because they really didn't give anything up for it. So
just a 6th round pick for that.
Yeah, and we got a 7th round back. I was misspoken yesterday because the way the thing was worded. We got Mims in a conditional 7th rounder, and they get a conditional 6th rounder. So it's just a swapping of a late pick. 6th round and 7th round, there's not that much difference anymore between them.
Yeah. And you're paying nothing for it, really. And it's a conditional 6th round pick, too. So if he doesn't even make the roster, they just release him and nobody gets anything. They don't get nothing. We don't get nothing. There's really zero risk in just bringing a speedster in. And that's all he really is. I mean, I don't want to oversell. Like, we have some bona fide number 2 wide receiver now or something like that. I mean, he's really fast. Really fast, 6'3". He fits the build of what we need while Jameson Williams is gone. But I mean, I'm not going to call home about this guy. I'm not I mean, I'm not going to die on a hill saying, yeah, Mims is going to be the next big thing.
I mean, he's had over 33 catches on 42 attempts over his career of catchable passes, if you count the drops, and they include balls that hit you in the back of the shoulder pads or the top of your helmet is a catchable ball. You guys know that? Those count as drops.
Back shoulder catches, man, they count.
I know.
Yeah.
But when you say this is the list of your starting quarterbacks you've had thrown to you over the last three seasons. Sam Darnold.
It's my quarterback.
Zach Wilson.
It's my quarterback.
Chris Streveler.
It's my quarterback.
Washed up Joe Flacco.
It's my quarterback.
Mike White.
It's my quarterback.
And last but not least, whale shit on the bottom of the ocean, Josh Johnson.
It's my quarterback.
And so I say Mike White's the best quarterback out of all of them.
Yeah, but believe it or not, the best
quarterback.
The best chemistry he had out of all of them was with Chris Streveler.
Jesus.
So, needless to say, Mims has not really had a real good shot at this thing called the football life.
And he had a defensive head coach, which means they don't develop offensive talent. If you're not producing, they just move on.
I'm one of these people like that believe that this was a bad. It was more bad of a trade for New York than it was a good trade for Detroit.
Yeah,
it's like, what are you doing? You're giving up Elijah Moore in a trade for like a trade down from the second to the third round, and then you give up Denzel Mims for like a conditional 7th round pick. Why? Oh, because we signed Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb.
So
what? I can't even believe I picked these guys to be my dark horse Super Bowl pick, and then you go out and do all this crap.
Password. It's Rodgers' wish list.
Yeah, I mean, why are you bowing down to Aaron Rodgers?
because that's what GMs do.
I know.
Packers did it for a long time.
No, the A-Dub couldn't even handle that conversation.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I mean, he's handling his business.
Guys.
I know.
I gotta get going. You guys have a good one.
All right,
Bear down, Mike. It's great to have you on here. Thank you.
You guys.
Wouldn't that be something that just like when Stafford left Detroit, he went to the Rams and won a Super Bowl. Imagine if Aaron Rodgers wins a Super Bowl in New York. Oh man, shit's gonna hit the fan. I tell you.
Hey, I still like what Vanessa, for lack of not knowing his name yesterday, he came in and asked, what happens if the Jets and the Lions make the Super Bowl and Mims catches the touchdown pass to beat Rodgers and the Jets?
Whoa.
And I was like, wow.
And that's a Packer fan asking that question.
That's a stretch of a Super Bowl.
It's a stretch. I'm
what
not
a
gonna
compliment.
lie.
What a compliment. Like, I was just like, wow, you are a Packer fan and you said the word Super Bowl and Lions in the same sentence. That's amazing.
Well, I gotta get the article. I read an article yesterday that I don't know where it was, but they said they put a percentages in and they picked Detroit to win the Super Bowl just on percentages wise. I got to get the site. I'll send it to you. But I read it and I was like, crap, and I lost it. I was like, where the hell is it? Because I was going to mention it today on the show and show you. But yeah, so there's something to be excited about in Detroit this year.
Yeah, we want to be excited, but as Lions fans, we've always
Jared Goff said.
We've learned how to taper our expectations, and sometimes you don't know whether to continue to taper them or just to follow that little good feeling down the wormhole, because we've been hurt so many times, Woody. We know what it's like to hurt on the inside and feel all good and warm and fuzzy about the team.
But see, say if the Bears were, voted to pick the Super Bowl, I don't get too excited because I don't get my hopes up, because when it doesn't happen, I won't be too devastated.
Right.
So hopefully, I know Detroit Lion fans, excited, winning division and stuff like that. But don't kill yourselves if you guys don't make it to the big game. That's what I do. I don't get my hopes up at all. So if it doesn't happen, I don't get too upset about it.
Well, it's going to be hard, because when you go in and you play Kansas City and then you play a team that beat you last year in a shootout, we didn't even get an or a defensive stop in that whole game. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get a defensive stop in this game against Seattle. So if by some miracle the Lions actually start out 2-0, the Kool-Aid's going to be flowing. It's going to be flowing into the Detroit area, because they'll be favored in every game in Vegas for the rest of the season after that. Like,
yep.
If they take out Kansas City.
See, the bad part is I don't believe they should be, because of how the Kansas City defense has played the last 4 years straight. You can say what you want, but they start out slow. They average giving up 28 to 35 points a game.
See, I don't take the first. I take the first game as like a first game. Last year we beat San Francisco the first game.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Bears weren't favored every game afterwards.
Was that when you hurt Lance?
that was the rain game when the Bears would score a touchdown. They would do a swan dive from the 20-yard line. They reached the end zone. That's
okay.
So that the first game, we played Green Bay. say if the Bears win, yeah, I'll be excited because it's a division game, but it's not. It's just the first game.
Mhm.
Like I said, we beat San Francisco last year. I didn't think that was one of our 3 wins. Did I think we're gonna win the division after that first win? Not at all. I just take the first game as a first game.
Yeah, but there were some Bear fans that were on the Super Bowl Ryan Poles hype train.
Well, of course. Yeah.
Y'all just didn't know.
Yeah, right.
You were all sleeping on these Bears. Like, oh man, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, who are you talking about? Oliver? Richard Oliver?
Well, I just remember the huddle last year was just flooded with a
Yeah.
bunch of Mooney as a number 1 wide receiver, like all of this crazy stuff. And I was just like, wow, that is a lot of, because we do the same thing in Detroit. We hype our 5th and 7th round picks, and here's this guy from free agency that we got that no one knows about. We do that too. Every team does that.
But yeah, I was like I said, I was excited, happy that we beat the 49ers, because 49ers are saying, hey, Super Bowl run, this and that. If Detroit beats Kansas City on week 1, yes, be excited, but don't think you're going to go undefeated the rest of the year or stuff like that. Just like I said, I'm realistic. So, but I would be excited for you if you guys beat Kansas City, because I know we won't.
Well, dude, it is the NFL. It's like, to me, the teams that surprise.
As the saying goes, every given Sunday, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's when I was telling Russell. That's why they play the games. Who knows? The Bears can go 17-0. Is it likely? Hell no. But you never know that it might happen. Who knows? So
to me, it's like teams like Atlanta are scary, like teams like Houston.
Their running game, yeah. Atlanta's running game.
Well, it's like a lot of these teams like rebuilt a couple years ago, right? So these teams have used first-round draft picks on high-end offense and defensive players, especially Houston. Houston's one of those teams that you got a whole bunch of second and third-year guys that are coming in after those Deshaun Watson picking twice in the first round, 2 years in a row. They got some talent on that team, and then you dropped C.J. Stroud into that. That could be a team to look at as a dark horse in that division with Jacksonville and Tennessee that everyone loves to talk about.
Yep. Jacksonville will be in the I picked Jacksonville already to be in the playoffs this year. Absolutely.
T-F.
And I look at Jacksonville to still win that division as well.
Yep.
I'm still playing around with next gen stats, and they have a stat in here called catchable passes. Guess what team had the 32nd ranked catchable passes thrown?
Let me guess, Jeremy. Is the fan in here?
Yep.
Chicago Bears.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to. I love the way you point that out. And this isn't trash talk here. This is talking.
I'm not trashing. It's a stat. It's a stat. It's a stat.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like I said, the Bears, Justin Fields, with the weapons, offensive line beef up. There's no excuse this year how he can at least throw over 3,000 yards. Now 4,000 is a little bit of a stretch, which he says I'm definitely throwing 4,000 yards this year. I'm like, okay, 3,000 is good. I think like I said, he's going to do a lot better. His rushing yards are going to be up there, but not as high as last year's.
Yeah, I mean, you're hoping. You're hoping because you want balance.
And
I'm hoping for not an injury either, because like I said, we got great old Nathan Peterman and then PJ Walker. So,
and I was going to say another thing you want to say and hope for out of Justin Fields is that he limits his turnovers too. Like he has been very high on that the past 2 seasons for you Bears.
Right. Yeah. He's like, I mean, you know how Jay Cutler, he broke all the Bears passing records, but Jay Cutler liked to force it a lot. So, and then he would throw in the interceptions and stuff like that. Hey, I know you're a running quarterback. If you're getting chased and you can't get out of the pocket or pass the line of scrimmage, throw the ball out of bounds. There was a lot of those last year's as well. Him taking the sack, throw the ball out of bounds and go to the next down.
And 90% of his fumbles was when he was running outside the pocket.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes with a lot of guys do this in the NFL because when you don't have a great team around you, you feel like you have to do more than.
And Russell, is there any way you can bring that last comment up?
Which one?
The one about the Bears with the no defense, but they 10.
There you go, right there, Sarah.
It wasn't that one. It was another one. There was a guy that just put the comment in. Something about Bears. Yeah, there you go. 10 games last year were no defense. That's a good point too, because our schedule is in our favor this year a little bit, and our defense is a lot better with the addition of the linebackers, and our CBs are gelling like Gordon and Brisker. What I said, we have to get an edge rusher because we were last in sacks last year. But that was a good point. And our schedule is a little bit more favored than last year as well.
Yeah, Brisker's a really good.
Yes, even though he was from Penn State. Yes, I know.
Well, Penn State's notoriously good for defense. If you go to Penn State or Iowa for defense in the Big Ten, you're okay. Just don't go there for offense.
Yeah, when Penn State beats Michigan and Ohio State and stops playing Akron and stuff like that, and they start beating Ohio State and Michigan, I'll turn my head. But they can't beat them worth crap. So that's why. But Brisker and Gordon, they are gelling, and hopefully after this year, this year Jalen Johnson has a better year because they're talking about it. If they're going to keep him or extend his contract or get rid of him next year. So hopefully that works out. We got to get rid of Vildor. He was just terrible for us last year. So, and Eddie Jackson said he's going to have his best year as a safety this year. So I like to action speaks louder than words.
Yeah, Action Jackson.
Yeah,
get it going, Action Jackson. Put some action behind that Jackson. Let's
absolutely.
But I'll give Brisker. I think he is the best young safety. I thought he was the best safety out of last year's class, and he proved it in the stat department. I think Kirby's coming up on him, but Kirby's a good pickup for the line. But Brisker was more solid throughout the entire year.
Right.
I mean, Kirby Joseph was Aaron Rodgers' daddy, and really not much else after that.
Right. I hear you. But I have to get going. But I want to say, House Hall Report. We do our shows Wednesday nights. I say Eastern time because that Eastern is the best time to have. 7:30 Central Standard Time, and then this Sunday it's going to be 11:30 Central Standard Time. This Sunday is our first show. Come and join us, comment, and do whatever you want to do.
I love it.
Woody,
So hey, what's that?
Before you hop out, what you should wish for is, regardless of the yards, is that he improves his completion percentage to over 60.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah. I think, like I said, I'm optimistic he's going to have a better year.
Did you really cut him off?
I didn't cut him off. He cut himself off. But you got to stop asking people questions right after they're done. Like three times this week, I tried to close the show out, and I'm like, all right, God bless. Whoa, one more thing. And it's like, he was like, hey, here's my show. Peace out. One more question, Woody. It's like, dude, he's trying to get out of here. Poor guy. I actually didn't. I did not do that. I feel like I keep on kicking people out, and it's not my fault.
No, it looks like it. That's what I'm saying. The way they pop out.
Oh man! But now we have 2 Lion fans and a Packer fan. We haven't even. And A-Dub's been such a good sport here, just being on the show, and we haven't really even been talking about much. They got a great young. I think Dobbs, Reed, and Watson is a 1, 2, 3 wide receivers right there. You got a good young wide receiver core that not a lot of people know about. So that may be able to help out Jordan Love to get on a quarterback tip right here. So is that the most exciting part? Are you excited more about Jordan Love or your defense and running?
For the most part, I have to say it could be a mix of both. Like currently, when it comes to Jordan Love, I am trying to see if he has truly inherited everything he seen and experienced and absorbed from Rodgers. Like, will he take all of that and actually be the quarterback that Green Bay needs and wants him to be? And when it comes to the defense, expectations are very high on it. Like, we have, like, for this defense, everybody has said it. We have 8 first-round draft picks on this defense, and the talent is there for where it should be, somewhere between the top 10 out there. I'm trying to see what that work come out accordingly.
Yeah, and you have it all comes back to that defensive coordinator. And I think that is the biggest question for you guys is, can he get it together? Can Joe Barry finally get all of this talent all together and, make them better than the 21st ranked defense with all that talent on there?
Yep. It's all about the play calling as well as playing to your personnel strengths as well. Like, if these guys, whoever is good for when it comes to our secondary, the majority of those guys are better suited for man press coverages as opposed to playing zone. So play to that kind of strength. And then when it comes to your linebackers, if their strength is best built around coverage or the run stop, have plays called where you do that. Just play to your personnel strengths is what I would suggest with Joe Barry in terms of your play calling.
Right, and I think that they will be able to do that, and that's why I think that Green Bay, to me, is the second place team in the division because they are going to be able to play that defense, and with the running game that they have with Dillon and Jones, they're going to be able to play ball control, and their defense is going to be able to stop games. They'll be able to, do that at the end. Where I feel like Rodgers was more of a, woohoo, I can score in 2 seconds. And he can run a long drive, but that wasn't really his thing. He could kill you with the big plays and stuff like that, where now I think the offensive coordinator is going to make it so they're just going to be handing the ball off a lot and playing for less possessions and not big stats.
True, but at the same time, another thing I touched on before is Rodgers being gone means more control of the play calling goes to Matt LaFleur. Like what Mike once said before, the kind of offense Green Bay ran wasn't completely Matt LaFleur's offense.
Right.
What part of it was, but Rodgers always altered the offense to have plays of his own that he likes to run, do things his way. But you're not going to see that now since we have Jordan Love here. Like, everything he does will be according to Matt LaFleur's scheme.
Wow. But I mean, that's crazy to me. Like, if I'm a Green Bay fan, that I'm looking at that and you're wondering if it's the chicken or the egg, right? Is it LaFleur or is it Rodgers? And really no one is going to know that until they see Jordan Love in this offense to see if Matt LaFleur can, coach his way into keeping this being a good offense. So that's a good question for Green Bay fan. And gosh, the first week you get Chicago, and last year you were able to defend Justin Fields pretty easily. I mean, he really didn't have any type of answer for any of the Green Bay defense. So I don't see why they would just expect with Nate Davis and drafting a first round tackle, adding a wide receiver like that, it's just gonna all of a sudden be better because you guys got better on defense too.
Well, the big question mark for us is going to be how well do we match up with their defense, given that now you don't have to see Rodgers anymore. You got a new face of QB in Jordan Love, and to me, the unknown element can work to our advantage. Like, you may not know what you're going to see in Jordan Love. Like, only thing you can go off of with Jordan Love is the small sample size of what he did before he became the full-time starter that he will be this year.
Right.
Like, you don't really know how to scheme for him because you didn't see him play that much just yet.
And that's huge. In today's NFL, tape is everything. Like if you have something on tape, that's why I think the advantage for the Lions with Jahmyr Gibbs and Laporta. The biggest thing is that entire offense is ran exactly like it was last year. Quarterback, all the offensive linemen are blocking in the correct, opening up the correct lanes. None of that changes. The only thing that changes is you take out Jamal Williams, you stick in a guy that's probably about twice as fast as he is and can break tackles and can catch the ball. You take out DeAndre Swift, you put in David Montgomery, which is, I think, is a comparable. I mean, that's, take one out, put the one in, and David Montgomery may even be more durable than DeAndre Swift ever was. So even if it's the same in talent right there, you don't have anything. You don't have any tape on that. You don't have any tape on Jordan Love running that offense and running it with Christian Watson and throwing the fade with Romeo Dobbs. We don't have that. So that is an advantage. That's a very good point. You like that? That gets 4. There we go. Wait, you have any thoughts on this, Jeremy?
No, I mean, I pretty much agree with all of it. But like I said, it's going to come down to coaching either way. When you have a young QB that hasn't had a lot of experience, it's 100% going to come down to the coaching and play calling.
Oh man, I think that we're getting to the end. I think that we're reaching at this point at the end right here. John, let me see what John Dorn says, and I'll see if I want to end this. Sorry guys, my phone overheated. Okay, I'm glad that I didn't, Woody. I'm so glad that you realized that your phone overheated, and then I did not kick you out because it definitely looked like I kicked you out, and I'm glad that you had that comment on there.
You need my card to pay the bill.
Sorry, guys. I gotta go.
Oh gosh. Hey, thanks for being on the show, A-Dub. You're welcome anytime, brother. You have a great day.
See y'all later.
Oh man, it seemed like everybody had a little bit of a little thing today. It was kind of but that's all right. So what I wanted to do right here, I wanted to thank everybody for being on here with us today. I'm glad that you got through all of our technical difficulties and everything right here. I do want everybody to realize where we are broadcasting because we got a lot of support from people. Detroit Lions News. Thank you, Joe Chapp, allowing us to broadcast into your platform so we can give you some good Detroit Lions content. And please go like and follow our page, Detroit Lion Villain Squad. We content 365 days a year. We put over every podcaster that comes on here. So whether you're supporting the Chicago Bears with Mike the Bear fan, or you're supporting the Packers with Bill the Packer fan, or if you're supporting the Minnesota Vikings for some odd reason, like Sarah. And we appreciate Sarah coming on and representing the Vikings every day, but we don't have a page to go with that yet. And then Smoking Jeremy B here. Why don't you give yourself a plug?
Well, you can find my content at Kneecap Biting with the Detroit Lions. You can find my writings at the SouthFloridaTribune.com. And you can also find me on the South Florida Tribune YouTube channel, where I do multiple podcasts weekly until the off season is over, because I just hate off season.
I don't know, man. To me, I love off season because it gives us a chance to really look at all of these teams.
I'm talking about that lull.
Yeah, the lull is tough, but I'll tell you what, we here at the Main Event 365 and over there with biting kneecaps, Detroit Lions style, we are committed to 365 days a year of some form of content coming out either on the page or in some kind of live form. We made it through the entire draft, all like 120 hours of it. It was the marathon. Thank you, Ken Doby, for that too. And we appreciate you guys coming live here every single day. We're doing this during the week, 11 a.m. on the weekdays, phone sessions with me, your host, Russell Wayne. And we invite everybody to do that. And then on NFC North open mic, that is where it gets a little bit more risque, right? 7 p.m. Eastern. We viewer driven topics. Don't bring your feelings or anything like that, because we love to talk a little bit of trash. And as always, God bless you guys. We love the fact that you are avid football fans that come on here every single day, especially July 21st. Next week, we get to talk a little bit about some of that training camp right there. Hey, keep loving football. The hell with basketball. The hell with baseball. God bless each and every one of you. From Russell Wayne, Main Event 365. Take it easy. One Pride.